Ngayon ay gagawin natin ang pencil holder. Kuya, bilis. Ka na. Paano ba siya? Set upin natin.
Ngayon na po.
Tapos,
Kaya ako din na, sige 10 minutes. Ay, 5 minutes lang.
kasan ito na? May kasama pa siyang ganito.
Diyos ko, kahit di mo na tignan yan, tignan mo na lang ito eh. Kuya Joshua, kayang-kaya yan.
O, ikaw, sige.
Oh, ito. Alam ko dito to. Sa akin
Ito
to eh.
9.
Kuya, kit by the book. Ikaw.
By the jump.
May ano pa nga, screw.
Ang cute no, may dance.
May lagayan po kasi parang pansit kanto na.
Ito 8, 9, 10.
Tingnan natin. Paano nila bubuoin.
7,
G, may bago kang friend.
Rabbit.
Bagong friend na G.
5,
Tapoy ka na ay.
6,
Nandiyan na yung mga papel na eh.
Four.
Piprint ko na yung documentos. Yung para sa...
Ang ganda niya, matigas yung
Binuksan mo yung email mo?
4.
Wa.
Ay, ano ba? Parang bumili ka?
May letter H po.
Oo.
Dapat J, kuya. Ano ba yan?
Oo.
Tapos ito.
J, pagod ko ba maglakad? Dumi ng paa mo.
Itong sakot ko. Ito no.
Dali, spray mo kuya.
Wala sa akin.
Ito si Jean.
Ang putik.
Okay, tapos.
Tapos din yung nakita. Okay.
Okay, ano unang step?
Basta ako ito ang i-assemble ko.
Ito muna.
Ito sa akin. Kasi can't mo.
Ano?
Kasi can't mo. Ito ako magkakabit nito.
Sana mahaba siya para sakto yung mga mahaba kong bolte.
Sino ba nagsabi sa'yo yan?
Akin yun!
Nadaling ko ito sa
Paggising ko, nasa table ko yan.
table mo yan, sure ka. Table ko yun.
Akin yun.
Oh.
Kaya lang dapat J talaga to.
Nilagay yung isa.
Kasi yung isa.
Cabinet.
Malikot pala. Ito pala. Ayun. Tapos yung isa.
Ito.
Yan, yan.
Jimmy, ka uli doon. Dali.
Parang
Ganun pala dapat no pag kay Jim.
Hindi pa pakita.
Di siya tumawag. Kasi di niya alam.
Ayun na. May ka na ulit.
tapos...
Ano yung inagawa mo?
Ito na niyo ba?
Ito.
Oo, kasi may kasama ang tornilyo. Oh, ayan. Ano to? Ay, ang cute. Meron pa siyang handle.
Bahaya.
Parang kailangan naka-wood glue to.
Ano? Ano nakalaki? Ito na yung naman ito para hindi siya lalaki.
May wood glue doon.
Oo nga, may wood glue kami.
Ayun, mas
Saan galing yun? Ba't meron tayo yun? Kunin ko lang ang wood glue and syempre kailangan natin ng gloves. Saan ba natin ito ginamit, kuya? Bakit tayo merong wood glue? And the gloves. Kuya, para saan yung... Gawa mo, kuya. Oh, kuya, para saan yung wood glue?
Kaya kit mo mag-aalam yung siya na alam. Pero kasi may tornilyo naman.
Asan?
Ito.
Ah,
Bigyan
ayun.
ko.
Okay, sige. Hindi, pag wala na.
Alam, maganda rin yung wood glue para for retention.
For the keme.
Alexa, play music.
Ano na daw ang TV? Alexa, play the YouTube.
Oh,
Alexa, stop the music. Teka na kayo pinapanood ako.
play mo. Alexa,
Alexa,
turn on
stop.
the fish light.
No doubt there would be massive upheaval of social norms. This event, dubbed a
Alexa,
black sky
stop.
hazard, would take out all our communication networks. The storm, caused by coronal mass ejected from the sun, would propel
Tapos,
Alexa,
our
Stop
planet
music.
at the speed of light.
Yeah,
The
let's
excited
watch
particles
this
in the upper
informative
atmosphere would
documentary.
disrupt radio signals used by satellites. You wouldn't be able to contact your friends and relatives who live further away. Your cell phone may be fully charged, but without an
arbor ang damit,
active
mga.
network, you'd essentially be
Bagay sa akin
holding a
yan.
paperweight.
Hindi sa atin
In the
dahil.
beginning, you might not even
Sa akin yung
realize that
bagay.
the outage is global. You may even enjoy the first night, since there wouldn't
Astig,
be any electronic distractions and
ini-screw.
you'd have a clear view
Trying
of the
to
night sky.
love one
But
another.
there would be a cost. 30
Tapos kuya
minutes
ka
after the initial hit,
base study
a
po.
wave of electrons and protons would follow, damaging the electronic circuits in satellites.
Ba't kaya hindi ko talaga
This
maintindihan
deadly
yung mga
dose of
logic ng
radiation
mga
could
ganyan.
also threaten astronauts in orbit or passengers in high-flying aircraft. Many of our satellites need spaceflight operators on Earth to control their courses. With no one at the helm, satellites could crash into space debris or each other. Meanwhile, back on Earth, hospitals
mag-iikot.
could face catastrophic effects from the power outage. The energy currents produced by a geomagnetic storm could induce power lines to
Kuya
destabilize
Joshua,
the
manong
grid's
bata siya.
operation.
Kayang-kaya niyang
This
bubuo ng
massive
ganito.
surge could
Na walang
destroy
manual.
transformers
Walang manual.
around the world. The best backup
Di naman
generators are
nakabit.
only able to provide about 24 hours of power, so intensive care units across the world would suffer tremendous losses. Ventilators wouldn't function, and medical staff would have to use manual devices like rubber lungs to keep patients alive. People who need dialysis would go without it, and doctors would have to make difficult choices about people's lives. And power
Alam ko
plants
yan,
across
ito
the
yan.
world would fail. Whether
Mali,
they're
hindi
fueled by
yan,
coal,
kuya. Ito
natural
yan.
gas, or nuclear fission, it could take days or even weeks to restore
Ah,
them
ito.
to full capacity.
Oy, ito
The
rin yung
cooling systems of nuclear reactors would fail, and total nuclear
Ako na
meltdowns
lang
would
magaling
happen.
yan. Tapos kayong dalawa.
It could take weeks to restore Europe's massive interconnected power grid, which supplies energy to over 24 countries and 400 million customers. And none of this includes
Walang
the cost in
posto.
dollars. Assuming that you'd still be
Ay,
using
stop lang,
money
walang
once
post.
the power comes back. When 2 million customers in California lost power for 2 days, the U.S. Department of Energy estimated it cost the economy
Parang
around
ano niya?
$2.5 billion.
Masyadong sikip.
According to the U.S. Department of Energy, 33% of American
Galing.
businesses could lose $20,000 to $500,000. With the banks shut down, you wouldn't be able to access the cash in your accounts.
Kuya,
Let's hope you
nasira.
kept a little savings in your piggy bank.
Para saan ba yung
But the
tornilyo?
stores have
Paano
limited
kumapit
stocks of
niya?
items. And without cash registers and payment systems, things could get ugly fast.
Ba't may flat tas merong patulis?
Ito flat dito siya.
Cheska and Kendra's Leche Flan with love. Separate egg yolks from the egg whites. Mix in Doreen Evaporada and Doreen Condensada. Get a spoon to sneak in a taste of the sweet and
Yung
creamy
pandali
Doreen.
kuya kita.
Sarap
Put
pala
mixture
yan.
in the canera. Steam for 30 to 45 minutes.
Bagong brand.
Wait 20 minutes before unmolding.
Bago.
Then serve it with
Dati pa
love.
yun? College pa.
Sarap.
Habang
Discover your sweet spot with Doreen.
Yan yung lagi sa mga ano kasi mura lang siya.
Oo, mura
Sa
pa.
scrambulan.
So yung sa mangga, yung sa pandan.
Ang sarap.
We saw the possibilities, and what's best for the athlete must be better for the planet. So we're making products with recycled materials, products made to be remade, and
Sunod ko
products
yan.
made
Gawin mo na kayo
mutually.
sunod.
So all
Ikaw
people
ay
can see
gumawa.
the
Habang gina,
possibilities.
dapat tigil tayo ng ginagawa eh.
Eh, o paano? Hindi ko nga alam eh.
Plastic waste.
Paano mo
So we
nalaman to?
still have
Ano
places to
to?
play.
5 tsaka 6 ka na. Saan yan? Nasaan yung example dito?
Ha?
Ito yung 5, ito yung 6. O paano ito didikit dito?
Kuya, hindi siya sikip.
The masses could grow restless and take these essential items by force if it means keeping their families
Gagamitan ng
alive.
tornilyo.
So, with chaos reigning in the streets,
Gagamitan ng
could you
utak.
drive away to the woods? Well, unless your car has a full tank, you won't be getting far.
Aray.
Gas pumps wouldn't be functioning. Traffic
Ganito
lights
siya
wouldn't
kalaki.
work, and the roads could turn into a demolition derby. But it's not just your car at risk. Thousands of people would be stranded underground in subways. If you were flying, airports would have 24 hours to land the planes before their backup generators quit. The world's transportation
oh, sa
industry
gilid,
would be
oh.
crippled and unable to deliver needed supplies. And depending on where you live, there's more than a lack of supplies that should worry you. It's the sudden stoppage of services. Emergency services couldn't take your calls. People stuck in elevators couldn't call for help. And without furnaces supplying heat, people in colder areas would have to rely on burning wood or a tight snuggle to stay warm. And without power, the pumps in the water towers wouldn't work. So many areas would suffer devastating water shortages. You would have to
Gusto ko ng
conserve
fishbowl
your water
yung
carefully
isang
because
araw.
there's
No,
only
sabi
so
mo,
much
bibili
left
tayo
in the
niyan.
tanks to distribute.
Hindi ko pa
Each
rin
glass of
bibili.
water would drain our supply. The electric sewage systems couldn't pump away waste, so every flush could wreak havoc on your plumbing. This could cause an overflow of waste that backs up into your home, and that's not the only thing that's going to
Feeling ko
leak.
tama eh.
On day 2,
So
the
tama.
perishable items in your fridge will start to expire.
Diba Kuya Kay?
And without garbage pickups, these rotting items would pile up in the streets.
Kabit
With
natin.
so many of our services dependent on electricity, a geomagnetic storm wouldn't just leave us bored without social media. It could leave us stinky, starving, and desperate.
Pag walang
And
kuryente.
while this
May
event
kuryente
might
sa
seem
bukid natin.
unthinkable to you, according to the World Bank,
Solar yun.
there are 1 billion
Mama,
people
screw,
living
bro.
without electricity.
Uy, 7 yan,
Hundreds
Malika.
of millions live with unreliable or
Malika.
expensive power.
Tira ng tira.
Developing nations in the dark.
Hindi, sabi mo
To
kasi
combat
tag-iisang
this, some experts are working
gagawin.
to develop artificial intelligence that could predict power outages. And there's still a lot of research to be done
Ako,
on
Kuya Ken.
how to make renewable energy
naman.
sources more reliable for mass consumption.
Feeling ko mas
But
mabilis
maybe you're
magagawa.
tired of living in this modern nightmare and want to live completely off
Kasya
the
pa to
grid.
dyan.
What
Lagayan
if
ko ng
you
sticky
live
notes.
in a
Excited ako.
closed
Ayun
biosphere?
yung ano niya.
Throw.
Well, that's a story for another
Ito naman to rin.
if.
Ah, wait lang. Mamaya! Saan yung 8? Ito 8.
Yan, ginagawa na nila ang aking pencil holder. I'm so excited, guys.
Matigas talaga to.
Yeah, kailangan mo
Just
screw.
50 years ago, we finally ventured to the moon.
Kuya, kuba ka. Yan, ganyan dapat. Panoorin mo yung walk namin ni Jim. Dali na, upload ko. Ayun na.
For the very first time, we look back at our own planet.
Yay! Stilig.
Since then, the human population
Tawag dito, kuya.
doubled.
Excited na means. Malapit na siyang mabuo. Ano kayo makain?
Mamaya tinulad.
Mamaya na. Gabi para isahan. 6 na ba? Ah! It's already 6 p.m.
Tapos,
Kuya, oh.
Ito na 8.
Sa gitna yan. Sa gitna yan. Ah, wow! Napupugod na siya, guys.
Lagyan mo na nga ito para may support.
Sabi ko sa'yo eh. Kanina pa yan. Wow! It's almost done!
meron din dito, bro.
Sa
Sa
gilid.
gilid. Ano yun?
Ayun na!
Ay, ito.
Oh no, low-bat na.
Nasaan yung scroll? Scare scroll.
Kuha nga kayo isa pa. Bro! Hey bro, what you doing? Saan yung screw mo na green? There it is. Papalitan na kayo.
I will never ever settle for less. I will protect you every single day.
Screw ba? Screw. Anyone? Anyone?
Mas maganda yung malaki kasi. Mas
Mas what?
Keep you safe
ma-resistant.
as much as I can. And raise you filled with love.
Look.
I will give you, and you the care that you deserve.
Let's watch our
For you
vlog.
and for me.
Meron akong editing app sa laptop.
Can I?
Ah? Uy, ayun na.
Uy, nasa yung inaano. Napaka-epal mo.
Eh bakit? Bakit di ka naman nanonood ng ads? Tinanggal ko lang. Ay, Apple Factory.
Pag, yan mo.
Help.
Ano mo? Ay, dito.
Jambam! Anong ginagawa mo, Jambam?
Sabi niya yan.
Kasi hindi
Hindi
nakapasok
pa kasi,
to.
di kasi nakapasok.
Kaya magkano yan?
Pasok muna natin yan dito sa iba. Para ito naman sa support system.
Noted na.
Napasok mo dyan? Pero ako na mahal.
Mas maganda doon.
Diba? Ay, hindi siya kumakagat.
Hindi siya compatible.
Hindi siya combustible.
Di naman nanonood. Ba yan?
Ano, Nay?
Hi.
Busy ka dyan?
Hindi naman. Paglalaga ka na ng kamote mo.
Yay!
Pagkain mo.
Masaya ka ba talaga, kuya?
Oo.
Hindi ka naka-smile.
And this one,
Ayan,
Ito muna, ito muna.
combustible na siya.
Ang ganda!
Ganda na, lagay ko sa bar ko eh.
Ang gagawin mo dyan?
Lagyan ko ng ballpen ko sa cashless, sa office din. Para sa office na binili ko para
Sa akin
office.
yan. Para sa office.
Sasabihin mo. Hindi ito combustible sa'yo.
Combustible din sa akin.
It's not a compatible material.
Combustible. Ang ganda nung ano. Lilis, yung akin. Order airplane.
Hi, it's Katrina. From mysterious sounds to unidentified monsters, here is why we don't know much at all about the deepest place on Earth.
Hi. Sika, pagod ka.
The Mariana
Postahan, hindi maghaharap si Gigi mamayang gabi.
Trench is the deepest place on Earth. The enormous trench is shaped like a crescent and located in the western Pacific, very near the Mariana Islands, hence the name. Not only does the Mariana Trench contain the deepest point on Earth, but it also contains several of the deepest points known to mankind. There are mud volcanoes inside, strange
Ganda, may mga
creatures we've yet to
tornilyo
meet,
pa.
and pressures that are
Parang di naman
1,000
totoo yung
times
tornilyo.
weaker at sea level. The reason we don't know much about the Mariana Trench is because of how deep it is. At the southern end of the trench is Challenger Deep. Below it ocean. The best estimates we have say that Challenger Deep is 36,070
Alam mo ba
feet.
Challenger
This
Deep?
measurement comes
Parang
from the National
airplane.
Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Alam mo ba tinawag na Challenger Deep?
Kasi,
Yun yung sasakyan na
The
nakarating.
second deepest place in the
Challenge.
world is also located inside the Mariana Trench. It's known as Sirena Deep, and it's a blistering
Sirena? Ano yung
35,762 feet deep.
Sirena Deep.
It's also located about 124 miles east of Challenger Deep. To give you a comparison of just how deep the Mariana Trench is, if you took Mount Everest and flipped it upside down, there would still be 7,044 feet to go before you reach the bottom. Skydivers jump out of airplanes at about 7,000 feet, meaning the Mariana Trench is as deep as Everest is tall, plus the distance of skydiving from the clouds to the ground. Number 9. Horrifying creatures. The Mariana Trench is so massive that we simply don't know what's down there. After
Alam ko na kung ano
3,000 feet into the ocean, there is absolutely no sunlight to witness life forms. The
Feeling ko may tatay mo.
living in the trench are absolutely horrifying. Plus, scientists say we have barely scratched the surface of life in this great
Para sa
ocean
niyo?
gulf. Still, we can get a pretty good idea of just what kind of goblins are living in the Mariana Trench by looking at the creatures we've already discovered. First on the list is the jumbo octopus, a cute
Ang cute niyan.
bizarre octopus with ears like
Kaya,
Dumbo the
alam ko yan.
elephant.
Alam ko
This
yan.
is the deepest dwelling
Teka lang.
octopus known to us so far, living at about 13,000 feet deep. Cute, right? Then we have the deep sea dragonfish, one of the most horrific animals ever. The dragonfish is an assassin with no scales and is slippery and slimy skin just like a turtle. These monsters live about 6,000 feet deep and rely on bioluminescent body parts to help them hunt. Then we have the barrel-eyed fish.
Parang ba to sa
Belongs in
pinili?
another dimension. The fish is
Bakit
an
parang iba?
incredible
Bakit ang liit
and
nito?
has a body that allows
Parang
it to see
baliktad.
straight through its skin and into its brain.
Ay, hindi naman.
Researchers have only found a handful of these fish, and they live about 2,500 feet deep.
Tama
Last but
naman.
not least is
Para
the
saan
goblin
kasi
shark.
to?
This toothy
Cellphone holder
creature looks
to
like
eh.
somebody blended a
Ito.
shark with an orc from the Lord of the Rings. It has a snout that looks like
Hindi
a
kasama,
sword,
ano, wala sa
protruding
bilog.
jaws, and thick
Kaya
skin. Some of them can
baka
rise to
ganyan
as
siya
big as
talaga.
18 feet. They live
Pero for sure meron.
8,000 feet beneath
Well,
the
feeling
surface.
ko.
Ganyan yan sa gilid, ganyan no.
The older they get.
Cellphone holder.
Cute. Wala na, tapos na kuya. Ang tagal ko dumating.
Tagal mo tapos eh. Dito yan eh.
Mariana Trench. Researchers use a remotely operated vehicle to explore some of the
Ay, hindi. Patungan to ng cellphone. Pag mga ano ba?
Thanks, bro.
Galit ba kayo?
Hindi, inago na.
Dinrider nga.
Bakit?
Ang ganda.
Thanks, entry ko nga sa
So nice. Tama ba? Bakit kaya mababa dito?
Siyempre dito yung power bank ni Kuya.
Ay, sakto ah.
Marine geologist Bill Chadwick from Oregon State University recently said in a
Kuya yun
statement that almost
Akin yun, kay kuya.
Ano na ako kabali?
Diba? Panglagay sticky notes ko.
Ganyan mo lang, ganyan mo lang.
by scientists.
Benta mo ba
Some
kuya?
eruptions, as we know, are elusive despite their frequency. This
thanks ka na.
Thank you so much. I love you so
by cameras on the ROV.
That's it for today. Goodbye.
Lava flows spreading across the sea floor.
Thank you, thank
The camera
you.
also witnessed
Magbabay kayo sa viewers ko.
Fuck you, viewers.
Bye viewers!
Magbabay ka sa viewers ko.
Bye viewers!
Bye-bye. The last thing explorers want is to be burned alive by